In a small hillside village, there lived a young shepherd named Leo. He was known for his laziness, often lying under the shade of trees while his sheep grazed. Leo's job was simple: keep the sheep safe from wolves. However, instead of walking around and staying vigilant like other shepherds, Leo trained his dog, Max, to patrol the area. He tied bells to Max's collar, so whenever the dog barked, the sheep would scatter, confusing any approaching predator. Leo's father often scolded him. "Leo, what will you do if Max gets old or sick? You need to work harder and take responsibility." Leo would shrug and say, "Why work harder when I can work smarter?" One day, disaster struck. A terrible storm came, and lightning frightened the sheep. They scattered across the hills, and Max, now old, couldn't chase after them. By morning, most of the flock was gone. Leo sat under the same tree, feeling helpless and disappointed. "I've let my family down," he thought. The next day, the villagers gathered to hear an important announcement from the mayor. There was to be a grand competition at the king's castle. The winner would receive 50 gold coins and a flock of the finest sheep. Leo knew this was his chance to help his family, so he decided to join the contest. The journey to the castle. The competition was 3 days away, and Leo had to walk through forests and valleys to reach the castle. While traveling, he saw many other competitors: strong farmers, swift hunters, and determined villagers. They all laughed at Leo when they saw his small frame and lazy demeanor. "You? Compete? Don't make us laugh," they said. Leo ignored them and kept going, determined to prove them wrong. The first challenge. On the day of the competition, the first task was announced. Contestants had to climb a steep hill carrying a sack of heavy rocks. The first 5 to reach the top would advance to the next round. As everyone rushed to pick up their sacks, Leo stood back and watched. He noticed a nearby river that flowed past the base of the hill to a point halfway up. Leo quickly emptied half of the rocks from his sack, placed the sack in the river, and followed it upstream. While the others struggled to climb the hill, Leo's sack floated halfway up. He retrieved it and carried it the rest of the way. Although he was slower, he saved enough energy to reach the top as the 4th contestant. The crowd murmured in surprise. How did he manage that? The final challenge. The next day, the final challenge was revealed. Contestants had to move a large pile of firewood from one side of a field to the other. They could use any tools they wanted, but only one tool could be selected. The first to finish would win the prize. The first contestant grabbed a wheelbarrow and started loading wood. The second contestant used a rope to tie bundles of wood together for easier carrying. Leo, however, chose an axe. The crowd was confused. What will he do with an axe? The wood is already cut. Instead of carrying the wood in large pieces, Leo chopped the firewood into smaller, manageable pieces. Then he stacked them on a flat piece of bark and dragged the bark across the field like a sled. His smaller loads allowed him to move quickly, and before anyone realized it, he was halfway done while the others were still struggling. With one final push, Leo finished first. The crowd erupted in applause. The mayor handed him the prize, saying, "You've proven that brains can win over brawn." The lesson: Leo returned home with the gold and the new flock of sheep. From that day on, he worked harder, realizing that being smart was good, but combining effort with intelligence could achieve even greater things. His family was proud, and Leo became an inspiration to his village. This story reminds us that laziness can be overcome when we have a strong reason to act. Whether it's helping loved ones, achieving a dream, or proving ourselves, a meaningful goal can drive us to do our best. Moral: work smarter, not harder, but remember, true success often requires effort and determination.